Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. And y'all, please do not forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. They're in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, day 3 of marriage. Sasha and Nate, they're sleeping. Krysten is waking up with the ogre that she's married to. And Lindy and Miguel and her student loan debt, they're rising and shining. Rise and shine. Shout out to Kylie Jenner. Moving forward. So Sasha and Nate, they're getting cozy in the hot tub, honey, about to have a little breakfast. And she said last night gave her a sneak peek of what Nate is capable of. She's like, yeah, I'm trying to build on the sexual tension. Sasha, who you think you fooling? Okay, because you ain't fooling me. As fogged up as that shower was, and y'all invited us in to a steamy Skinamax type session. Girl, please. If you think for 1 second, I believe Nate tied up his 2 braids and went in there and went to sleep, girl, gone. Moving forward. Lindy and Miguel. So they're waking up and he asked her if his snoring bothered her. Child, we got another snore on us. Shout out to Bow. Yeah, I remember when Johnny found out that Bow snored. Bow, bow, bow. Boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom, boom. Shout out to season 13. So they're talking and Lindy drops the bomb that, she was engaged in college and they moved in together. She lost her virginity to him at 23. And so that was the first person that she really loved. So from 23 until 29, she hasn't been in love with another guy. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that because for a large chunk of your 20s, you weren't in any serious relationship and then you just jumped into marriage. And you're like, hi, I'm here, ready to be in love. Like, it don't really work like that. I'm a little bit nervous about that, Lindy. I can't lie to you. I'm a little bit nervous about that. So he tells her that he's been with women, but he never got to the love part because something was just missing. And she's hoping that he doesn't get to the point where her quirks become a little bit too much for him and he's not feeling her in order to fall in love with her. So then in her confessional, because y'all know her title is The Overthinker, she's like, it's just really hard because everything I'm saying to him, he's like, yeah, okay. Lindy, it's been a total of 1 night on the honeymoon, 1 night in the hotel room. Okay, now don't get me wrong. Miguel does seem closed off and he seems kind of cold. I mean, he probably ready to get home and play his game, girl. Don't pay him no mind. He is giving very much Jose. I'm going to say that. That's who Miguel reminds me of. He reminds me of Jose, Sasha, and Nate. So they're going ATV driving, right? And she's trying to see how he's going to be with her. Is he going to care, if she's going a little bit slower? Is he going to fall back? Is he going to make sure she's okay? Will he be there for her? And so she's worried, right? So they get there and she's trying to put on all of her equipment, her seatbelt. Meanwhile, they pan over to Nate and he taking selfies. Typical self-absorbed wannabe influencer. Child, who are you taking selfies for? You already got the girl. But what are you doing? So they start up, right? And he completely leaves her behind. Child, I don't know if she was still back there with production or not. She looks around and he's nowhere to be found. I'm like, Nate, how are you going to leave your wife back here? Child, he took off and started recording. He is not ready to be married. He thinks this is a field trip. Nate, this is you and your wife on your honeymoon. He's so childish to me. I mean, I guess the braids are what does it for me. I hate them 2 little braids. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, honey. I hate them 2 little braids on Nate. So once they get done with that, they sit down, right? And she's trying to explain to him that he needs to be in the moment and he needs to take her into account as well. Because when they were riding, he was basically doing his own thing and just left her in the dust. Honey, Nate said, watch my dust. He's like, well, I just can't flip a switch just because I'm in a relationship. Nate, you are the one that decided to get married. You do know that, right? It's about compromise. You don't leave your damn wife behind. Nate don't care nothing about his wife, child. He's too busy trying to get content for his Instagram reels. He could care less about what's going on with Sasha as it relates to this ATV ride. Now in the bed, that's another story. I can't stand people that have their phones, men especially, out on dates when you're with them all the time. Their phones are in their hands at all times. Like, this is your honeymoon. Take some time for your wife to try to make sure that she's okay. And what is wrong with you? Nate might be on this show so he can excel his influencer career or that YouTube channel he got over there. And he ain't fooling me. He already full of excuses. Alexis and Justin. So they're going horseback riding on the beach. Lord, they doing all this kissing again. Hey, y'all. And these two gonna kiss if they don't do nothing else. Justin getting all sentimental because he said, this right here, he manifested this. And now he's on the beach with his wife. And he just can't believe it. Oh, Justin. So she's saying it usually takes her a little while to fall for somebody. But she feels like she's losing control. Oh, really, sis? Okay, then, honey, we might be wrong about Alexis. But something still tells me it's giving a little bit of a performance. But we shall see. She said when he looks at her, she can tell that he loves her. Now, mind y'all, she said when he looks at her, she can already tell that he loves her. And I just want to say this. Y'all need to let the newness wear out first, then assess the situation. I don't want Justin to get hurt because, she said her feelings fluctuate. So, on the honeymoon, you got your honeymoon braids. Everything is everything. You're on the beach. You're frolicking and whatnot. Y'all ain't got to go to work. But then as soon as y'all move into the shared apartment, all hell gonna break loose because we know how y'all like to do. Moving forward. Mitch and Krysten. So they're going paddle boarding. Honey, I wonder if Mitch switched out those Band-Aids. Child. I can't stand Mitch. Oh, I can't stand him. So they sit down. They start talking. And so Krysten said, on her questionnaire, she said she wanted someone passionate about their career. And she's so very happy that he's so intense about, his life's works. Krysten, why are you always complimenting Mitch, but the only person he compliments is your mama? I have not heard Mitch compliment her genuinely yet. Oh, you look nice. Oh, you're such a nice girl. You look great. It's not real. But Krysten is constantly like, I'm so proud of you. I love everything about you. I'm so happy that you're this way. I'm so happy that you're that way. Krysten, allow him to pour into you too, honey. Girl, don't give it all up. Moving forward. So he's like, I'm just happy that we're here in the same place, on the same page. We're able to tell each other jokes. Even the sex is funny. What man looks at a woman and says the sex is funny? Mitch, see, this is why you were, as Alexis says, celibate by choice. You were celibate because this is the way you behave. Anywho, I don't think Krysten found her and sex in the same sentence funny. I don't think she did at all. She was like, I feel like we're moving a little bit slower than I'm used to, but, I guess it's just a part of the process. Krysten, it's been 3 days, hon. Slow down, low down. It's been 3 days. Krysten gives me Clara, season 12. That's who she reminds me of. Like, we gonna have to hear about not going to Pound Town over and over and over. Like, why do you want Mitch on top of you anyway? Do you really want to be hunching and watching that Band-Aid at the same time? Look at this stupid little hat he got on. Child, I'd rather the Band-Aid, I guess. Oh, child. Oh, honey. Morgan and Binh. So they're taking pictures and Binh is showing us his Colgate smile. Ting. I do like that they're being playful with their pictures, though. They took some cute little wedding pictures, honey. Looked like they were straight out of Cell Block D. But they were having fun. Baby, they went right back to the honeymoons. Moving forward. I know that's right. Lindy and Miguel. So they're having a romantical dinner and they start talking about when they graduated from high school. He graduated in 2003. She graduated in 2011. She's like, oh, wow, you're old. He's like, well, you're young. Oh, Lord. So she asked about his upbringing and he was basically saying that, he felt out of place when he was younger because although he had the skin tone of someone that was, Dominican, he didn't quite fit in. And this makes me realize why his sister speaks the way that she does. Because it's like, girl, what are you trying to emphasize with these words, honey? I have no idea. But now it all makes sense. Anyway, so he told her his mom had schizophrenia, but, he was really hard on her at first because he felt abandoned. But after researching because of his education, he realizes that his mom was just hurting. There was absolutely nothing that she could do about it. And so Lindy thought that was great because she was like, you know what? The fact that you're so empathetic with your mom, I really love that about you. The fact that you can see that she was actually going through something at that time. So she starts explaining how her dad gave her mom divorce papers when she was young, but she was happy to be removed from the toxic environment and whatnot. She said she lived with the boyfriend's family and got to see what a healthy relationship was. Even though there was arguing involved, arguing is sometimes healthy because, you got to get things out. And the whole time she talking, I'm thinking to myself, Lindy, you couldn't dance, but you were shacking up. Girl, okay. So the two are sharing, their past, and it's exactly what Lindy wanted to do, honey. She wanted to trauma bond and whatnot. So she's happy that he was vulnerable with her because, it brings her walls down. Moving forward, Mitch and Krysten. Oh, y'all, I dread their scenes. I really do dread their scenes. So he called his brother to complain. Brother, friend, honey, he called somebody to get ready to have a Mitch fit. And he's telling him that he and Krysten with a Y, they're great on paper. And he's enjoying getting to know her. But the sexual attraction, it just isn't there. He's like, I wish it was, but it's just not. So he's trying to tell him, listen, you didn't make a vow for you to fall for her sexually right away. But you did take vows in order to work through things. So, I mean, just give it a chance, bro. So Mitch goes, it's not that she's not a good person. It's just me. Like, I have to be honest with her. I really have to tell her about this. Calm down, Mitch, honey. It's not a 4-alarm fire. He is so dramatic. And I do not think that you need to sit her down and tell her something like this after 3 days. Give it a chance. Ugh. So then he starts crying. Mitch, what are you crying for? A blind man could see you were not into Krysten with the Y, but why is the question? Like, she's natural, just like you wanted. So now what's the excuse? Like, I'm looking at you and you're not aesthetically pleasing, okay? And by the way that you behave, I'm sure your insides are even less attractive. But she's an eager woman, and I'm not sure why she's looking at you, but I'm saying to you that a less eager woman wouldn't look at you twice. Don't get on my nerves this season, Mitch, honey. And you are already there, child. You right at the tip top of my central nervous system. And I really can't stand when they pan over to your scenes because I know you're finna get ready to make Krysten feel bad. And it's getting on my nerves. It's upsetting me and my homegirls, and I don't like it. Moving forward, Sasha and Nate. So Nate's pretending to be in a rap video, honey, recording Sasha and their every move. I was like, if Nate don't put that damn phone down. So he's like, so I have a question. This is a serious one. How long does it take for you to get ready? As long as it takes, okay? All you have to do is take off your do-rag and put on one of those god-awful shirts. So let this woman get herself together. But she did say like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I was thinking to myself, girl, not for that simple ponytail and that natural face. Oh, no, ma'am. Krysten and Mitch. Krysten goes to meet him for dinner. Honey, she's giving tousled hair, no makeup, per his request. Because mind y'all, she's trying to get his attention. I don't know why, but she is. So she's telling him, today was a good day. Shout out to Ice Cube. And he's like, yeah, it was just a setup for fun. We had a good time. He's like, I love that I've been able to just talk to you and you just take it minute by minute and you don't want to rush into anything. Mitch, you do realize that this is not an extended first date. You guys are married at first sight. Not she don't want to rush into anything. You can't get no more rush than going to the altar and going to get married at the chapel, honey. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I just wouldn't say that I'm sexually frustrated. Okay, because it's only been a few days. You are sexually frustrated and say it, Krysten. This is the same problem I had with Claire. Krysten, if you feel some type of way, articulate that. Stop. Well, I'm not, it's only been a few days. If you weren't sexually frustrated, you wouldn't be bringing it up. So she's like, I just want things to advance in the sexual department. So baby, what's she say that for? So he tells her that he wished that he felt more of that, but he's not feeling her sexually or physically. He's like, I'm just not attracted to you in that way. Basically, it's not you, it's me. Anyway, so she's like, well, that's strange because when you look at me, I can tell that you find me attractive. Krysten, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You are a catch. Okay, I do not know why you think you have to coerce men into something. The last man you had, you emptied out your entire bank account for a party down in Key West. Don't do that no more, girl. Men are visual creatures. He is telling you he's not attracted to you. The only thing in his eyes is lust for your mom. I'm sorry, honey, I just got to say it. Mitch is not going to be attracted to you just because you say, well, I think you're attracted to me. You keep looking at me like you're attracted to me. He's not. Okay, he's just not. She's like, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you. You're like, I know that was hard for you to say. He's like, no, you're great. No, it's not you. I mean, you shouldn't have to convince me. Like, I want things to develop organically. So he also lets her know, look, I'm not running. I'm committed to everything that we're doing. I'm committed to seeing this through day by day, basically until decision day. Moving forward. She's like, well, if I ask for specifics, I'm sure it's going to hurt my feelings. So you know what? Let's just take it a day at a time. Let's not even worry about it. Aww. I can tell that she was really crushed in that moment. That was her worst fear. If you think back to the wedding, her worst fear was her husband not being attracted to her. Child, he ain't never even been in a committed relationship. Child, just roaming the streets and picking up cans and plastic bottles off the beach. Krysten, please do not let him discourage you. Child, I wish Mitch would, him and his Band-Aid. So she was like, I'm just a little bit confused because his actions show that he's into me. Do they show that he's into you, Krysten? Or are you trying to make fetch happen? I'm just saying, honey, it ain't making no sense to me. Krysten, please don't pull a page and sleep with this man hoping that sparks will fly. Because it's not. And then I'm going to have to talk about you over here on the YouTube. And then we're going to have lives. It's going to be all about Krysten and Mitch, the bitch. So please do not do that. Moving forward. So she's still continuing to make excuses for him. She's like, I just think he has anxiety. And I'm convinced that he'll get there on his own. I love the optimism. But, sweetie, he's just not that into you. Now, we have had stories turn around, okay? Look at Jamie and her husband. It turned around when she was having a full-on fit, honey. Fell full-on out on the floor because she was not attracted to her husband. So sometimes things do turn around. I mean, they have children now and they're living happily ever after or whatever they're doing over their child. They living. So it could happen, but Mitch just seems like such a judgy man. Even if he did turn it around, he would forever throw in your face that he had to warm up to you. That seems like the type of man he is in the midst of an argument. Well, I had to warm up to you. Absolutely damn not. Moving forward. Alexis and Justin. So they're matching, honey, ready for their romantical dinner. And so when they sit down, Alexis is expressing to Justin that it's hard for her to be vulnerable because, it's like you're putting all those cards out there and that allows you to get hurt. So she's like, I just feel like you made for me. I just feel like I need you. I say, what now? She's like, oh my God, I cannot believe I said that. Oh, I'm about to throw up. I mean, I mean it, but I just cannot believe it. Cause oh my God, I'm physically in pain telling someone that I care about them. Like I could just scratch my skin off. Calm down, Alexis. Calm down, honey. Girl, stop with the dramatics. So she starts tripping cause it's not easy for her to actually open up to somebody. And he's like, well, I'm here for you. Like, I want to have kids with you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. She was like, how you want to spend the rest of your life with me? He said, because I love you and I'm in love with you. Justin, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you on prescription medication? It has been 48 hours. They don't even find criminals on the first 48 in 48 hours. And you done fell in love in 48 hours? Shout out to Noy. Honey, you don't even know her. You don't know this woman yet. Take your time. I know it's exciting. I know you're happy to be in this space, but don't just go throwing around the love word. You don't know her yet. So she starts laughing hysterically. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't blame her. Hell, I'm uncomfortable and I'm just listening to it. And I think it was a nervous cackle. I don't think she was trying to be rude to him like, you dummy, I don't love you back. It was more of, it's like, oh my gosh, we're on this honeymoon. This man has just said he loves me. I'm saying weird things. He's saying weird things. It's giving little weirdo. And that's what it's feeling like to me. So he's like, what's going on? I mean, does it scare you? Well, honey, it scares me. Why are you getting attached to her so easily? She was like, I mean, it does because, it's just unfamiliar to me. You want to have kids with her, Justin, and y'all ain't even took it there yet. Y'all have not even had sex, but you want to tell her that you want to have kids with her. He's like, well, can you see yourself falling in love with me? She said, well, you want me to say that I love you? Because I can't. I'm not willing to. Like, I'm not going to say that. As you shouldn't. Especially when you're not in love. So then Justin starts to cry. Oh, Lord, these men on here. There's so many wet eyes this episode. Justin, why are your eyes wet? What's going on with you? He said he loves the way she makes him feel like he has the confidence to walk around the resort naked. He doesn't feel judged. He feels like, it was love at first sight for real. Now, I'm very happy that she makes him feel wanted and loved because, listen, everybody deserves that. And I do believe genuinely Justin has never had a woman accept him so freely as Alexis has. You know, he talk all that big stuff. You know, they want to see, you know, if I'm hanging. Okay, Justin. But at the same time, I don't think he's ever had that genuine love where somebody wants him for him. Because if y'all remember when they were talking about his ex, honey, that ex he was supposed to get married to, she just ran off because she already knew that she wasn't going to be able to do forever with Justin. So now that they're in forever, and the way Alexis is making him feel with all that kissing and whatnot, baby Justin said he is not going to lose his woman. Honey, I know that's right. Moving forward. But Justin, this too much after 3 days. Baby, this too much, honey. She's like, well, do you feel like I love you? He said, yeah, I do. She was like, oh, okay, well then I don't never have to tell you then. Child, please don't tell Alexis no stuff like that. It's just the Mexico air and the married at first sight bubble. It's not love after 3 days, Justin, and you ain't fooling me. It's just not. If he is this in love right now, what y'all think he gonna be after she break him off a little something? Baby Justin gonna lose his mind. It's gonna be a whole fool. Back over to Morgan and Binh. So they're at the reception, and Morgan is bragging about kicking her friend's teeth out. Morgan and Binh give Freaky Friday. Their roles are reversed. Like, she's the man and he's the woman in the relationship. Morgan, keep that to yourself. She's like, yeah, I don't drink wine. I mostly like beer. And the whole time, Binh is just sitting there smiling. Morgan, girl, reel it in, honey. So Morgan is talking to his mom, and his mom dives right in. And she starts asking about kids. So Morgan is like, you know, I want to do a lot with my life. So I don't know if I want to have kids, but I mean, if he wants them, then we'll talk about it. Oh, honey, Mama Binh has written this heifer off. Do y'all hear me? She wants grandkids, and Morgan and her Muay Thai are not interested. And therefore, and thus and such, she gonna text Binh, and he gonna be on the first flight back to San Diego because you don't want no children. Moving forward. Meanwhile, Binh is over there talking to her friends about if Morgan wants kids, and her friend is like, no, but she says she might change her mind for the right person. Friend, why would you tell him this? But I mean, he asks. This isn't going to go well, because I can tell Morgan is strong-willed, and I can tell that Binh and his family really want, you know, children. She doesn't want children. I mean, but in the past, look at Brianna and Vincent. Brianna was scared to have kids because of health issues, and she didn't know if she even really wanted children, and now they're about to welcome a baby. So, I mean, it could happen. But let's hurry this wedding along, honey. It's week 5. We're over the weddings. We're over the reception antics. Let's just move this forward, honey. We have a Band-Aid wearing Mitch and a love-struck Justin to get back to. We ain't got no time for this. Back over to Sasha and Nate. So Sasha tells him that her mom called and said they were perfect for each other. But she was like, yeah, she did mention, though, that you had a bankruptcy. I know that's right, sis. Go on, put it out there on the table. So he was like, yeah, you know, I started the business with a friend with my personal money. And then we filed bankruptcy. And my credit got messed up, you know. But in a few months, it's going to be back on track. But that's the reason why I moved to San Diego. Trying to avoid them debt collectors. And you ain't fooling me. What you filing for bankruptcy got to do with you coming to San Diego? Anywho, it's given where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Nate looking for Nate in the daytime with a flashlight. Oh, honey, something about that didn't sit well with me. So she was like, has it been resolved? He's like, yeah, you know, in about 3 months, my credit's going to be back to normal. Back to normal as in what? Child, I'm watching you. So after she hears that, she brings up a post-nup. He said, a what? She said, a post-nup, so that, you know, my assets are protected. Usually you would get a prenup, and that's before you get married, but we're already married, so what about a post-nup? He said, you don't have faith in your boy? No, we don't have faith in you and your Cash App debit card. Absolutely not. We do not. She's like, I don't know what could happen. Basically, I don't know you. So he said, well, you know what? That's fair. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. So then in the confessional, he was like, you know, we've only known each other for 3 days, but it just still hurts because I just feel like she doesn't trust me. And she probably knows that you're a stranger, and it's giving stranger danger, especially with the finances. I would not trust you either. But at least he didn't make a huge deal out of it, and he did say that he was going to sign it. He didn't try to make her feel bad about it, so he does get points for that. He said he's going to work to build her trust, and we shall see. So then she brings up kids. He takes this huge gulp, and she's like, why did you do that? He's like, well, you older than me, so, I mean, when do you want to have kids? Watch it, braids, okay? Don't worry about how old she is. She's still popping. Okay, worry about yourself. She said, well, you know, I want to have kids in like a year. He said like 365 days. Nah, 2 weeks and 7 hours. Yes, 365 days. Anyway, she's like, yeah, 365 days. He's like, well, that's fast. I was thinking maybe 2 to 3 years. I mean, but it has to be with the right person. Sarah said, what now? She said, we're married. Child, they just say any old thing. And I really think he's being petty because you want him to sign a post-nup, and he ain't fooling me. But why are we discussing the babies right after the post-nup conversation? Like, we don't even know if Nate has a real bank account. I'm just saying. Like, we don't know, chick. We don't know. Child, absolutely not. Moving forward. Morgan and Binh. Oh my God, please let's wrap this up, honey. They're back at the suite. They laying down with the roses and whatnot. He says he feels like his parents really like her. I don't know about mom, honey. After hearing about those babies, I don't think mom likes her very much. She just ain't texting you. She trying to let you enjoy your birthday and whatnot. So Morgan discovers the bowl of condoms. Here go Binh. Oh, cereal. Binh, goodbye. I said good day. He said, you know, my birthday is at midnight, so you know, if my wife wants to give me a birthday gift, I don't turn down gifts, honey, especially when they're free. Okay, we know how you like to do. But I was wondering if she actually knew that it was his birthday. But in the next part of the scene, I realized that she did know. The two of them together, it just gives me something. I feel like Morgan should have been matched with Miguel, and Lindy should have been matched with Binh. That's what I think when I look at them. Krysten and Mitch. So Krysten and her hotness, they're sitting with Mitch and his scrawny self. And they have some tequila, right? And she was like, I just feel like we're on a roller coaster. One moment he's not attracted to me. The next minute we're eating chocolate covered strawberries and taking sips of tequila. Like, I'm just a little bit confused. It's giving confusion. From the Band-Aid to the beard to the blow-ups to the mom walking down the aisle to his infatuation with the mom to his disdain for you. It's giving confusion. So it's quite all right. We understand, honey. We see each other. So she's telling him that she thanks him for being willing to be open about how he feels, because, you know, keeping it inside can cause problems down the line, and he needs to just be honest. So she appreciates that. Okay, now this just may be an unpopular opinion, but why are we thanking him for not knowing your worth or giving you a chance? Why are we thanking him for that after 2 days? Maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe some people feel like, no, it's great that he had the conversation so that she knows. Don't tell me nothing. I'm good. Keep it to yourself. Get to decision day and say no. Like, child, don't bring my self-esteem down in the process. So he's like, well, I'm having a hard time saying you're welcome because I didn't really add value. Honey, as you should. But listen, side note. All I can say about this scene is Krysten is making those strawberries look so damn good. I was like, oh, Krysten making me hungry, honey. Oh, Krysten. Girl, you need to do some of the mukbangs. Girl, that looked good to me. So then he says that the tequila is helping him with the social lubrication. What do you need lube for, Mitch? You don't want to get it popping. Social lubrication? Child, he is so awkward. He said that he feels like the tequila has helped him reset and it's remotivated him. Anyway, let's continue, child. I do not have time for this. I really do not have time to play with Mitch. It's really giving me a headache. I don't have time for this. Morgan and Binh. It's the next morning, and Binh said Morgan was doing a little Muay Thai in her sleep. Not Morgan kicking in her sleep. Baby, Morgan kicking in her sleep. So they got their package, letting them know that they were going to Puerto Vallarta. And so she presented Binh with cupcakes for his 30th birthday. And the producers asked Binh if they had sex last night. And he's like, you know, we were tired, but we thought about it. So she in the background like, no, don't tell him. I thought that was really cute. So they were having like a little bit of banter back and forth. He was trying to spill the beans and she was like, zip it. Okay, don't say nothing. Day 4 of marriage. All the couples are waking up. Lindy and Miguel. They go for a little swim, a little dip in the pool, doing a little kissing. That's the first time I've seen them kiss. Miguel said things are amazing. He's really attracted to Lindy. He really likes hanging out with her. So he said that he does make advances toward Lindy and she lets him down easy. Oh, okay. He's like, you know, my needs are getting met in other ways. What ways are those? Do tell, honey. Inquiring minds want to know. What ways are your needs being met, Miguel? So in the pool, they started talking about consummating their marriage, and Lindy was just saying how important it is for her because, you know, growing up in the church, it was always abstain from sex, especially before marriage. And she's conflicted and she feels guilty because she lost her virginity to her fiance. And she was like, you know, I just want to take things slow. So she's giving him the biblical side of it. And Miguel is like, well, on the other hand, it's a form of affection. Child, they are not on the same page. Miguel just wants to have sex. Okay, he's like, you know, I'm going to speak for me, But for me, I need to test the goods because sexual chemistry is very important. Don't get me wrong. Sexual chemistry is very important. But Lindy just told you something very personal. And all you could say was, okay, it's a form of affection. Like, give it to me or don't. So then after the conversation, Miguel is like, so do you want a massage? Miguel just trying to cop a feel, honey, and he ain't fooling me. I feel like he's trying to ease Lindy into sex, even though she says she's not ready for that. Like, a massage is the oldest trick in the book, honey. Be getting massaged on your shoulders, end up with your panties around your ankles. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not, honey. I fell for that one too many times. Once Lindy catches on, honey, because you know she's slow to catch on sometimes, this gonna be a fool. I feel like Miguel is not respecting her boundaries. She says she don't want to do it right now. Over in the next scene, Morgan and Binh, they finally make it to Mexico. All of the couples are together waiting on them, and Morgan and Binh, they join them. So Morgan tells them that Binh had the virus, so that's why they had to push the wedding back, and that's why they late. So they all standing there acting like they've been married for 45 days. Child, it's been a whole day and a half late. They'll be all right. So they all head to the boat for a ride. Now, y'all already know when the Married at First Sight crew gets on the boat, the mess gets started. So Justin and Alexis are talking to Morgan and Binh, right? And Morgan is like, things are just going great with us. So Justin goes, I feel like I'm in a dream. I feel like she's the female version of me. No comment. Okay? Absolutely. No comment. She's like, here go Alexis. Well, he's celibate. Okay? So since he's celibate, now we both celibate. Alexis gonna find a way to tell people that Justin is celibate if she don't do nothing else. Alexis, get you some shirts made that say celibate, honey, since you want to broadcast it to everybody and their mama. Moving forward. So the ladies and the guys, they separate on the boat, right? And so Morgan asked Sasha what made her change her last name to Barnes. And she's like, I just really feel like since I didn't know who my father was, signing my name to me in the past, it was just meaningless. So me taking his name makes me feel great. And, I told him, even if we don't work out, I am not going to change my name back. Baby, Sasha is pulling a Tina Turner. He can keep everything, but I'm keeping my name. Baby, Sasha Turner said, listen, Ike, you can have all the masters, you can have all the songs, but I'm keeping my name. Ooh, honey. I don't know about that, Sasha, honey. I don't know about keeping his last name if the marriage don't work, girl. This is an experimental marriage. Not you walking around with a Married at First Sight last name. Girl, absolutely not. So Alexis was like, well, I feel like I'm doing the same as you. Even though I knew my dad, it feels like I didn't. So then right at that moment, Alexis realizes that she could have hurt Sasha's feelings by saying that. So she instantly tells her that she didn't mean it that way. She was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come off that way. And let me just say this. I loved that she was sensitive to Sasha's feelings. I really appreciated this scene. I love to see that. I appreciate seeing that between the two of them. That showed me a little bit about Alexis's character. Okay, because it says a lot about a person when you can understand that you can't just say whatever you want to say and may affect someone else. So I appreciated that. Shout out to Alexis. Over with the men, Justin tells the men that he told Alexis that he loved her. Here go Nate in the confessional. I feel like he's just so impressed with his wife and he's just so excited about his match. He's just too excited. Nate, I never thought I'd say this, but I agree. So they all laughing, honey, at Justin. Over with the ladies, they're like, well, did that freak you out when he told you that, girl? Like, what did you do? She said, I wanted to run. Justin is laying it on thick. Real quick. It's giving love bombing. Slow down, Justin. Slow down. So over with the men, Justin is like, I don't feel bad for telling her that I love her. He said, everything is happening that I never thought would happen for me. Oh, I really do hope these two work out because he is all in, Justin. I just don't want you to jump in head first and then it all backfire and you don't get what you were expecting. So just take your time and pace yourself. If it's real, she ain't going nowhere. You don't have to hurry up and solidify it by saying I love you because it doesn't seem genuine. It's been 3 days. Child, this is a whole fool. So she over there saying, it's getting to the love part, but I don't move that fast and I don't blame you. Back over with the men, Miguel is telling the men that he likes Lindy and he wants sex, but she wants to take things slow. And he said that he respects her. So then Nate was like, well, sex is better when you get to know her. So here go Miguel. Yeah, sex is better when you know the person, but I'm willing to put up with mediocre sex at first. Okay, so Miguel just want to bed Lindy. Period, point blank, honey. I'm really not liking Miguel. And I'm really not liking Lindy and Miguel together, honey. I'd have named them Mindy. I just don't, it's not giving me what I thought it was going to give me. I felt the warm and fuzzies watching their wedding, but now it's giving nothing. So Nate tells them that him and Sasha haven't had sex, but they showered together. He's like, we saved water, looking at Mitch. He said, I feel like she really gets excited about it though. So I know we'll do the deed before the honeymoon is over. I think y'all already did the deed, but okay, allegedly. Over with the ladies. Morgan is like, he's on me 24/7. Have y'all even had a 24? Y'all have known each other all of 12 hours total at this point. Girl, goodbye. She's like, he's always joking. He just makes me so excited for the future. I just know that our future is going to be great. He just makes me so excited about it. He's always on me. He's just always playing. Morgan love to put some zhuzh on a sentence, honey, because that man don't even know you like that. Over with Binh, he's telling the guys, she's cool. Yeah, I like her. I feel like we can, love each other. She's cool. He's like, I did have a little bit of a concern, though, about her friends telling me that she doesn't want kids. Then they go over to Mitch. And in his confessional, he gonna have his nerve to chime in and say, I feel like Binh and Morgan, they're off to, I wouldn't even say a rocky start. I don't know what kind of start it is, but it's not a good one. Worry about you and your Band-Aids. Worry about yourself. Worry about you and Krysten with a Y. Don't worry about everybody else's relationship, Mitch. So he's telling the men that after Tequila last night, he was fired up. And I was like, ew. Just hearing him express it, it was just gross. So the girls are asking Krysten how things are going with her because they can sense that she's not really into it like the other ladies. Well, child, she is with Mitch. Of course she's not into it. She's like, you know what, y'all, just wait till tomorrow. I don't want to talk about it with the guys here. I'm going to tell y'all all the tea. When the men aren't here, let's just wait till tomorrow. So Sasha goes, girl, I want to know what Mitch did. Honey, we know. He treated her like a drunken one-night stand. After 6 hours earlier, he was saying he wasn't even attracted to her. Krysten does not even want Mitch within earshot when she get ready to go off. And I totally understand because she wants to vent freely and she doesn't want to cause a scene. And we already know how Mitch can turn into a Karen. So for the sake of us all, I think it's best if Krysten just tells the ladies a little bit later. Moving forward. Everyone is back from the boat. Justin and Alexis are pillow talking about Mitch and Krysten. On over to Krysten and Mitch. So they're getting couples massages, minus being a couple child. So they get up to talk. And he's like, we had some fun last night, right? We had a time last night. Hush, Mitch. He was like, yeah, we had tequila and things were socially lubricated. My fire was stoked, so that's a good thing. Oh, yeah, that's all we're worried about is your fire being stoked. And stop saying socially lubricated. I hate the way that it sounds. It's gross. So you have to be drunk to touch your wife? You're gross. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, I'm happy that, you initiated things last night and you're a very great kisser. However, okay, if you would have been attracted to me earlier in the day and made that known and then made the moves you made last night, I could have gone all the way with you, but it just didn't make sense for that to happen in that moment. He's like, well, I'm a guy. And a disgusting one at that. Please don't remind me. So she's telling him at some point she wants to be complimented because it's going to make her feel good about herself. And that's the bare minimum, honey. That's the least you could do. And she should not even have to tell you that she wants to be complimented. So he said, he respects her. And she's right. It should come naturally. So she said the only pressure that she is going to put on him is if by decision day he doesn't have sex with her or tells her he loves her, that she's going to ask for a divorce. Krysten, the Ultimatum is the same production team, honey, but this isn't that show. It's not that show. He is definitely going to retreat because you gave him an ultimatum. Like, I'm happy you putting your foot down, but at the same time, even if he does do that, let's just say he tells you he loves you and y'all get it popping. He'll probably just do that just to get a yes because he doesn't want to be rejected on national TV. That's the type of man Mitch seems like he is, which I doubt he's going to do. But why would you want it that way? Child, they may be doomed. And that was the end of the episode. Let me tell y'all something. We are going to have a live Saturday night to discuss all things Married at First Sight. I was going to do it tomorrow night, but I have quite a bit of reviews to do. So we're going to move this thing on over to Saturday. Meet me Saturday at 8 Central Standard Time, and we are going to get into it as we get into it. If you are a Married at First Sight fan and you have something to say about any of this, child, I want to hear it. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, Stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.